Hello, everybody. Welcome back to our podcast series, The Informed Fed. I'm your host, Jeff Roediger, and my partner in this series, Bryant Stone, is back. Welcome back, Bryant.
Thanks, Jeff. How we doing? How's everything?
It's good. We've tackled in Chapter 7 the retirement plans, and this is a session today that you're going to hit on a high level, and that's maximizing the federal employee's retirement. This is Chapter 8. Before we turn over to Bryant, I want to let everybody know you can catch our previous sessions on my podcast network, Replacing Wall Street with Main Street. Bright and I have covered a lot of the benefits um, of the federal employee retirement insurance, and will continue to. And he's co-authored the book, The Informed Fed, that you can click the link and order, no matter where you're listening or viewing this session today. So let's get into it. Chapter 8. Maximizing federal retirement. Just to recap, federal employees have the opportunity to max out your thrift savings plan. Most of your are FERS. We may have some SERS out there. And then also, Bryant has vast experience, has done Social Security events over the years. That's an area that you need to make decisions on how to maximize that benefit before you retire. So let's get into that, Bryant. Tell us how to maximize our retirement.
Sure. Thanks, Jeff, for having me on. As always, I enjoy doing these sessions that we have. I know we've completed 7 chapters. I can't believe it already.
Yeah.
That we're almost done, and it's been a great journey. I enjoy giving these little snippets about the different chapters and kind of some tidbits on things people can kind of look out for. Now, in Chapter 8, when it talks about maxing your retirement income, um, there's a lot of different small nuances, Jeff, that I talk to with my clients when it comes to that, especially with the federal retirement system. And I would say probably the first thing that they should be aware of, and Jeff, you probably would be surprised, and I may have mentioned this in prior sessions, but it never hurts to mention something again. But the one thing, especially for the FERS employee, that they do get is up to a 5% match on their TSP, right? So when you talk about maximizing your retirement income and maximizing your investable assets, things of that nature, I can't tell you, Jeff, how many times I've seen clients doing X amount of dollars per pay period, and it doesn't equate to at least a 5% match, or they're doing 3%, or they're doing 2%, and not because they couldn't afford to do the 5%, Jeff, because they didn't know that they got matched up to 5%. And this falls true for people that have been, 5 or 7 years or 10 or 15 years into their career. And I'm like, man, I can't even count how much money that they've lost, or opportunity that they've lost to have the ability to get that free money. And I always say, and I've said this in previous chapters, there's nothing like free money, right? So that's probably the first thing that kind of sticks out to me. Another thing in kind of in relation to that is really just knowing the allocations of your TSP funds. Once again, I mean, I've countless amount of times I've met with federal employees that are 10, 15, 20 years in the working career. We start talking about allocations and they're like, what is that? And they've have all the money invested in the G fund because that's the default that it gets put into if the federal employee doesn't make a decision on their allocations.
Wow.
And I've known and spoken to federal employees that have been deep into their career that still have all the money in the G fund. Now, there's nothing wrong with having the money in the G fund, but if they would have spoken to an advisor, an investment professional, and maybe even utilize possibly the L funds, they could have had more interest over the years, right? Because typically the market, if you look back to it historically, yes, it's going to have its ups and its downs, but over time, it's typically going to appreciate. Now you have to obviously be smart and know when to get in, when to get out of the market, but those are just things that you should be aware of. So when it comes to maximizing your retirement income, it's like, okay, are you allocated properly? Are you set up to capture the market upside and minimize on the market downside? Another thing that sticks out to me, Jeff, is simple things like knowing when to retire, right? And this is really all goes into building a financial plan and more comprehensive planning, because knowing when to retire, simply, I'll just kind of give one example. Like if you got a client who's going to retire at 61 in 7 months because it's their 30th anniversary, or it's, whatever, it's a special day to them. And they do that instead of retiring at 62, it's like a difference in about 1% of their FERS annuity. Just by staying that extra 5 months to make it to 62 and have those 20 years of service, they're going to get an extra 10% bump in their FERS annuity. So simple things like that, just knowing, okay, when's the absolute correct time to retire? Is it going to give me an extra bump in my FERS annuity? Does it make sense to work to, some people say they'll retire at 60 because they may have met their 20 years, where if they retire at 62, stay extra 2 years, it's a difference of $500 or $600 in their FERS annuity check. So just kind of running the numbers with stuff like that. Also, Jeff, integrating things like Social Security, looking at things like your investments, and really building out a plan when to take what at what time,
Right.
strategizing, really a well thought out retirement income plan. Those are things that we do for our clients just to make sure that they are maximizing their retirement income, maximizing their Social Security, looking at things like lifespan, longevity, market downturns, and really just building out a plan so they can maximize it out. So, with this chapter, it really hits on like a few nuggets, but I would say the bigger overall picture when it comes to this is really creating a well thought out, written retirement income plan that factors in everything that you do have and not just looking at things in their individual silos.
Well, and the best way a federal employee can get that process started or review, I always say if you haven't reviewed your retirement income options, your three-tiered retirement in the last 12 months, you need to get with Bryant. And you can do that by clicking the link and booking a meeting directly on his calendar. Federal employees have a complimentary consultation with somebody like Bryant that's an investment advisor that understands the federal space um, and has been doing it for quite a while. Also, grab a copy of the book, The Informed Fed. You can get that on Amazon. Click the link below. And, as you said, Brian, this is so true. Little decisions can have a huge financial impact. And, that 1% that you just mentioned, little decisions like that. And I think that's why these sessions have such a big impact on the federal employee, because there's little things they're not getting or they just forget or weren't even aware of, right?
No, for sure. It's like I said, I see it so much. That's why I enjoy pumping out this content. So maybe that there's one more person that could hear this that
Yep.
could not fall prey that I wasn't able to speak to on some other type of communication tool that could understand the importance of that.
Well, and I'll close with this. Obviously, click the links below, go to MyFed University, get the book. You can also book a consultation with Bryant just to do that review. Also, forward this link out to fellow federal employees. I don't think we mention that enough when we do these sessions, but it's very important to get this information out to your coworkers or federal employees that you know, and that helps everybody. So, all right, great session. Appreciate your time as usual, and we'll be back with chapter 9. Look for that to drop soon.
Thank you, Jeff.
Okay, take care.
Investment advisory services offered through Red Hawk Wealth Advisors Incorporated, an SEC registered investment advisor. Top Rank Advisors LLC and Red Hawk Wealth Advisors Incorporated are not affiliated.